Om Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrisham Meghabarnam Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Vidhyanagamyam Bande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaikanatham. Good morning, friends. Good morning, devotees. So once again, this is a Sunday and we'll be discussing about the question that Brahma's children, they wanted to know. That they are four brothers. Brahma created them just by thought. So mind-born sons. So who are they? Sanaka, Sananda, Sanat Kumar. These are like this. So four of them, they wanted to know a question. What is that question? This is the subtlest question of the yoga. How to disassociate mind from the sense objects. Because the problem is, the mind is completely attached with all the sense objects, and the sense objects are also constantly going on developing desires in the mind. So these are the two things so interrelated, so closely associated. How to detach the mind? Why to detach? Because unless we can detach the mind from the sense objects, we won't be able to get the liberation. The goal is the liberation. Why we can't get the liberation? The liberation means the oneness, ekarasa, the oneness. When there will be multiplicity, when there will be the conception of many, one cannot get the liberation. So that is the reason Sanaka, Sananda, Sanat Kumar, etc., they wanted to understand this. They went to their father, Brahma. The Brahma thought, it says in the Bhagavatam, Brahma was very much busy in the creation. He was working on the creation. The Supreme, the being, asked him to create, so he was busy in that. So he told, it is better that the one who has created me, Brahma is the firstborn. Among the Hindu conception, Brahma is the firstborn. So where from it Brahma was created? From the Supreme Being. Who is the Supreme Being? Nobody can analyze, can give any definition. So it says that it is the Chaitanya, it is the consciousness, it is the Ananda, it is the joy, it is the bliss, all these different type of, but directly you cannot say because it is not the object, it is beyond. It is the eternal subject. So obviously, so this we all know. The students of Vedanta, we all know. As if he created the Brahma, about the creation, how the creation came, then gave the knowledge. So four Veda, four heads, the Brahma. Then Brahma thought, why not request my creator to answer this question? Friends, that means it is so difficult. Dissociating the mind from the sense objects is so difficult. Again and again in the Bhagavata, it says the sense organs are attached with the sense objects. What are the sense organs? We all know we are having 10, but right this moment we are discussing on the 5. The 5 which goes out to collect information. That is the eye, the nose, the ear, the tongue and the skin. Chakshu, Karna, Nashika, Jivha and Tak. And objects, Rupa, Rasha, Shabda, Sparsha, Gandha. That's the form and the taste and the smell and all this. These are very common for the Vedanta student. So this five and this five is so interrelated. It is very difficult. Who is suffering? Mind. Whose mind? My mind. My mind is suffering and I want to get the liberation, so I am attentive to know the answer of the Supreme Lord. He has to come to give the answer. Even the Brahma was not that way ready to give the answer. So the Supreme Lord came. When the Supreme Lord came, he came in the form of a swan, Paramahamsa. Why? The Supreme Being is not having any form. And if the Supreme Being is everywhere, to whom to ask the question? So we need someone. So obviously the sages, the four brothers, they wanted to know the answer. From whom? From the sky? From the air? Where they will look? So the Supreme Being understood. He took the form of a swan. Why swan? He could come in any other form, but he took the form of a swan because to get the answer, you should utilize your intellect. And intellect means the understanding that think properly. That means it's called, in one word we can say, discrimination, vichara. This again and again you will find in the Vedanta, vichara, atha vichara kartabhya. They begin with this. What is that vichara? What is the discrimination? The capacity to understand which is wrong and which is correct. And also the strong mind, the force of the mind to take up the correct one and rejecting the wrong. It's very difficult. And that is the reason people are suffering so much. So we are in reality that God, the Supreme Being, the Param Brahma, the source of everything, in reality. But Vastava, but in practical sense we find we are bound, we are crying, we are praying. When the temples and the synagogues and the churches are closed, the devotees are feeling, oh, why, when it will open, we will go. Why you feel like this? Because we do not know that in reality we are that Brahman for which we are going to the temple. We are that God for which we are going to the temple. So this, the cause is the association of all our sense organs of knowledge with the objects. Now the Lord came in the form of a swan to give them the hint that you should discriminate it. What is the discrimination? See, the swan, it is on the water all the time, remaining on the water, but water cannot wait. Water cannot make it any. So it is always fresh, though it is remaining on the water. Similarly, a mind should be on this world, but without being attached to this world, associated with this world. So that's why he came, overwhelmed with the sight of the swan. The Sanat Kumar brothers, they asked, Ka Bhavaniti? Now we know, who are you? If you ask that question, there's a great problem. The last the Sunday we discussed on that. The God told, why you are asking this foolish question? So now when we were in training center, so I asked someone. I was, after bathing in the Ganga, I was coming back, I saw him, I don't know why. Suddenly I asked him, usually we speak Bengali, but I asked him in English, hey, how are you? And he smiled. Then afterwards he came to me and told, I was sleeping in the noontime, I was taking rest. He woke me up and said, you never asked me this question. Why you asked me this question? I told, what question? I forgot. So you asked me how I am. So why you ask this? Do you think that I am sick? Do I look like that? And if somebody told you to ask me this question, I never knew that he gets agitated if anyone is asking that question. So by mistake I asked. So this is the problem. This Sanat Kumar and his brothers also got in that problem. He asked that question, they asked that question to the Supreme Being in the form of a swan. Kah Bhavaniti, who are you? Then he said, hey, why you are asking this question? Do you think there are so many? I am only one. When I am one, I am one. Why you are asking who? It cannot be. So as the self, I am the only. They knew their father is praying to the Parabrahma. The Parabrahma appeared in that. They are not ordinary people. They are sages. They are supposed to know it. Why they forgot that? Why they asked that question? Not only the children, the father also, the Brahma also was there. He was also asking, Kavavan. So naturally, he wanted to tell them that you should be always discriminative. What should be asked and when should be asked and why you are asking this, everything should be. So to make them alert. So he told, so when you are using this, the prashna, the question you are asking, why you are not discriminating, that capacity should be risen, because he is going to give them the answer which is based on the understanding. So the intellect should be alert. First you are asking me, if you are asking me as the Atman, I am the only one. If you are asking that I am the body because I am in a swan form, okay, but then you should use the plural form, and Kuyam, that should be the question. Why? In the body it is not the only body. There are so many Panchamaya koshas are there, and the body is associated with so many, so it is not singular, it is plural. Then he said, now he is giving the answer. He told, see, okay, I understood that you should be always alert. The kind-hearted Supreme Being in the form of the swan taught them what he taught from 25th verse to 38th verse. It is the 11th book, 13th chapter, 25th to 38. He gave the Atma Tatya and the Yoga, Samkhya and Yoga. When it is knowledge, sometimes they use the word Samkhya. Samkhya Yoga Prithak Bala, in Bhagavad Gita it says, the Samkhya means the knowledge. What is that knowledge? Knowledge of one. So that and the Yoga, application of that knowledge. The Samkhya and Yoga. So he will be telling that. What he said we find over here in the 25th verse, which we have already read. But again, let us go through that. Guneshu abhishate cheto. Guna chetasi prajaha. Guna, this is jivasya deha ubhayam. Guna cheta mat atmanaha. So what is this? It says that the mind is attached to the sense objects, and the sense objects guneshu abhishate cheto. Guna chetasi prajaha. They are associated. Here it says that the mind is attached to the sense objects, and sense objects influence the mind and creates the desires. Due to this mixture, the mind and the sense objects, the jiva, the individual self, make the body. This I-ness, this ego generates from here. The I-ness, this body, and the ego is associated with what? This body and the mind. So obviously it is the jiva, the individual, though it was originally with the God, but it is now separating. Why? Because the desire. So jivasya deha ubhayam guna cheta mat atmana. eternally connected though they are, the Jiva with the Atmana, the Brahman. This way he started telling them about the Atman. Then come in the 26th verse, very clearly he is mentioning Guneshu Abhishat Chittam and Abhikshnam Guna Sevaya Gunascha Chitta Prabhava Mat Rupa Ubhayam Tajet. Now he is giving the answer. What is the question? How to disassociate. Now in the 26th verse, in the 25th verse he said this is associated, and because of the association I-ness come. The I, the ego, creates the body, and body separates from the Ishvara, the Supreme Being. The moment you think I, you are thinking. So that is the problem. Vedanta will always say, we are studying the Bhagavata, but is the highest Vedanta Bhagavata is teaching. And there it says, the moment you are thinking the I, your body is created. That means you are separated. And the moment you are separated, separated from what? From the source of joy, Ananda. So obviously what will happen? Dukkha, that means suffering. So when we are separated from the Supreme Being, which is the source of joy, naturally we are suffering. So this way, now he is giving the answer. You wanted to know how to dissociate, right? Now the God is telling, the Supreme Being is telling, Guneshu Abhishat Chittam Abhikshnam Guna Sevaya. Enjoying the same subject, Guna Sevaya. In the Sanskrit they are telling like this, Sevaya, you are as if serving. What the Guneshu, objects, going on pondering over that again and again. So Guneshu, in the same subject, Abhishat Chittam, the Chitta, the mind, is attached. Again and again enjoying the same subject. That means again and again thinking of that. Gunascha Chitta Prabhava Mat Rupa Ubhayam Tajet. Then you give up that same subjects. And how to detach? Realize me, the self, the being, identified with me. You give up those and then identify with me. Me the Supreme, me the One, which is beyond that. So this is the one-line answer. Forget the world, think of me. I am the one, unchanging, eternal, source of joy. Think of me. So that is the answer. The moment you are diverting your mind towards God, immediately all these objects will go away. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna very nicely, he gave this answer also. He said, if you like to go away from the West, go towards the East. If you go towards the East, the more you go towards the East, the more the West will be left over. And if you are thinking that I will first clean this thing and then I will go, it is not possible. It is always there. Every time it is there. It is because it is the Maya. This form or that form, it will be present over there. So it is better, don't think about all those things. Simply start marching towards the sun, towards the light. That's why the prayer is, take me from the darkness to the light. Light means the knowledge. So that when we are marching towards the knowledge of the oneness, knowledge of the God, the Supreme Being, knowledge of the Atman, that is me. The more we go like that, the more the other things, oh, I was the father, I was the son, I was the grandfather, I was this, I was that, all those associations will go away. The I am he, the ultimately it will go. Problem comes, Sangat Sanjayate Kama. Bhagavad Gita, almost very classically it has been explained. The problem comes from where? Sangat Sanjayate Kama, from the association. Sangha. From there only it begins. If you don't have the Sangha, there is no problem. Sangat sanjayate kama. Kamat krodha vijayate. Because when I have the desire and the desire is not fulfilled, I become angry. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhrama. And when according to that krodha, because of that krodha, you become completely deluded and you forget, all your memory gone. Whatever the guru, your seniors, they taught you, whatever you learned, everything go. Everything, only anger, anger, anger. Why? I must get that. And when I try to get that, I make mistakes. So that is sangat sanjayate kama. Kamat krodha vijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammohat smriti vibhrama. Smriti bhamshat buddhinasha. Buddhinashat pranashyati. If you read Bhagavad Gita, step by step it gives pranashyati, it is all destroyed. Because intellect gone. The intellect is discriminative capacity, what I should do and what I should not do. So people get agitated, people do mistake. Why? Because their buddhi, the intellect, they leave them. And what is that intellect, that buddhi? Lord Himself. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita itself it says, Buddhi yogam dadamaham. How the God is helping us? By giving us the proper intellect, understanding. So what I should do, when I should do. This is the correct way. So something is happening, not that I should immediately react. That's the wrong thing. Okay, let it go. Not that it is all destroying. Let me wait. So this is the way we should understand. So now we come to the another thing that it comes over here. The main question that the Sanat Kumar brothers, how to separate the mind from the sense objects. In reply, the Supreme Being in the form of the Swan said, keep your mind on me, and the sense objects will not be able to distract you. So this is the answer. So then is Brahma, the father, didn't give the answer. He requested. Now, this is not an ordinary question. It's a very, very subtle question. And the question is one thing. Who can ask the question? How to dissociate? Because the desire to dissociate, the thought to dissociate has come. Otherwise, why this question? When the person is very happy in that, he will never dissociate. So this is the reason we have to understand when the Sanat Kumar brothers are asking, that means the desire to get liberated, that has arisen. That's called mumukshuta. The mumukshuta, mukti ichha, to get liberation. Liberation from what? From the bondage. What is the bondage? This attachment to the sense objects. So this thing, if it is not ready, then reading of this Bhagavata or understanding the answer of the question given by the Supreme Being, it is of no use. Those who are completely merged into those things, so naturally for them, they don't understand anything of it. This is so subtle. So this is called the Samkhya, the Jnana, the knowledge. This is the Samkhya. This Samkhya, then he said, withdraw your mind. It's so easy. But is it? You cannot withdraw. Try. Hundreds and thousands of people are trying to meditate. Very few they can really concentrate. And majority of the people, they will be so happy, oh, I have crossed this, I have crossed that, that there are 7 stages of in the traditional Hindu meditation process, that you have to take your mind up, up and up, and he will say, Swami, we have done this, we have done that. All self-hypnotized. This is not correct. The moment you can get that, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna himself told, the result will be this, result will be these. When the mind comes on the chest, and there anahata, then you will be completely different. Your character will change, behavior will change. And when it is on the kanta, change it. You will only like to listen to God or to talk about God. Then when it is between the eyebrows, then time you see the lights. The people, they imagine that they are seeing the lights. They are all in that condition. That is not meditation. You have to see the changes in the character. You have to change the Bhavahara. The Bhavahara, in his all behavior, complete change will come. The love will flow. And concentration constantly is not interested in outside world, name, fame, nothing. So this is so difficult to apply the yoga, jnana and the application. Samkhya is the knowledge. Yoga is the application of that knowledge. The knowledge is so subtle, and application you can understand. So naturally he says that you better withdraw to me. And who is this me again? Shakshi. Shakshi means witness. Always subject and never object. The Sakshi means the witness, always the subject and never the object. So this is very unique. Always subject. When there is an object and I can go to it, I can go and see, I can touch, I can smell, this is an object. But the subject, I, who is going near to that, who is touching, who is smelling, who is enjoying or suffering, that is the subject. The how to know the subject? Withdraw your mind and give it to me, the Lord said. That is the only solution. But that God is the eternal Sakshi. Who is that God? So obviously, how to do that? First thing. Second, the doubt. How I will know? Now friends, we are studying Bhagavata. See, in the Bhagavata is completely like the Vedantin. We always say this is devotion is separate and the knowledge is separate. Bhagavata only for the devotional people. Is it? Just look over here. It says the avasthatraya shakshi vichara, and that is the main thing of the Vedantin. They always say like that, unless and until you understand the avasthatraya, the three different conditions of the mind, you will never be able to understand the consciousness. Consciousness is there. How to prove? Here also in the Bhagavata also it says that through avasthatraya vichara, by understanding the three conditions of the mind, what is that? Wakefulness, then the dream, then the profound sleep. Anyone can have the idea of the consciousness which is beyond any activity, always the same, unchanged and unmoved. Avasthatraya vichara. Many of you, those who are studying the Vedanta for a long time, you have come across and you know it very well. Unless and until we clearly understand the avasthatraya, the three different conditions of the mind, same mind but three different conditions. First is the wakefulness. In the wakefulness, what happens? The mind, the body and the consciousness, all the three associated. We can know. Now, right this moment, I am not sleeping because my body is associated, I am talking, and my mind is also alert, I know what I am going to talk. You, those who are listening, you are also having the same thing. So the body and mind, of course the consciousness is there. Though right this moment we cannot put the finger on that consciousness and say, oh, this is consciousness, but it is there. Without that, the body and mind don't work, all we know. So this is one condition, Jagrat. In the Jagrat, what we do, we talk to friends, and then we don't like some people, so we like to avoid those people. We like this food, we like that side, we like this music, so many things we do. So that we know, even a child will know, that this is called wakefulness. This is a strong association with the objects. This is one. Then second, same thing happened when the body is absent. Because only our mind is working. That proves that without the body also activities are there. What type of activity? Same. I am tasting this, I am liking this, I am disliking that, I like this music, I don't. Even in the sleep, when we see the dreams, are you not having all those things? So many experiences are there. Sometimes it's mixed up, so we are a little confused. Sometimes it goes just as it goes in the wakeful state, same way. I am going to my friend's house, I am knocking the door, he is coming out, then we have a program, we go like that. Everything goes according to our plan in dream. When there is no body, but we have a body over there, as it is, though the body is lying on the bed, but the same body I feel over there in the dream. And also my friend is coming out, the same body. Then I am holding his hand and we are moving, enjoying in the dream. The body is there, mind is there, all associations are there, sense objects are there, but in reality, we say dream. In reality, it is not. When in the dream it is not, in the wakeful state, are they all really real? This is the question. No. Answer will be given by the Vedantin. Why? Go to the third stage. What is the third stage? Is the profound sleep, the deep sleep. There, in the profound sleep, there your body is absent because it is sleeping. Like a log of wood, the body is lying over there. And then the mind is also not present in that profound sleep, in the deep sleep. Why? Because we don't see any dream. That is the proof. Whenever the mind is there and it is active, obviously it will go on dreaming. It is not dreaming. So that proves that mind is also absent. Then who actually said that my body was not there, my mind was not there, but I was there? Who is this I? That is the consciousness. So this way the Vedantin, they prove it. The consciousness is there, present in every. When we are awake, that time also consciousness there. When we are in dreaming, that time also consciousness there. And when we are beyond this dream stage also, the third stage, that is also the susupti, they call in Sanskrit susupti, there also the consciousness is there. So beyond the susupti, because susupti is ignorant, we don't go there knowingly, but it goes because that is the nature, that is the habit. You know, if you take any flight from here, from America, and like to go to any country, suppose you have taken the British Airways. First will take you British Airways, wherever you go. Suppose you are going to India, but the British Airways first will take you to London, touching their capital, and then it will go to India. The same way all the aircrafts, perhaps you have noticed. So this is the way it goes. Our mind is going, ultimately the consciousness will take it to its original stage, the consciousness. And there we go always, every day. In every flight is reaching to that consciousness, which is called susupti. And because the susupti, from there again we come back to the waking stage. So it says, it is the ajnana, it is the ignorance. If we were aware that we have reached over here, I don't need to go back to the body and the mind and all the same subjects. That was done. So when you know about it, then consciously you are trying. You are sitting and all this meditation posture, the asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, all these things, only to reach to that condition where we always go in sleep. But this time consciously we are going to. When we go consciously over there, that's called the fourth stage. That fourth stage, we beyond the susupti stage. So that is the ultimate. So he says in this way, you have to, the Swan said that that is me, keep your mind on that eternal witness. So the fourth stage we go, and that is eternal witness. And that is called Chaturtham, the fourth stage. And in that stage, what happens? Now we know the solution. They keep the mind constantly on God or the Supreme Being and free from the circle of sukha, dukkha, pleasure and pain. This is called the circle. Okay, now we understand. Our question was how to disassociate. We got the answer. Our question means the Sanat Kumar brothers, they asked. So this is associated with knowledge and action. Knowledge is only Brahman, only eternal consciousness is there, alone, one. And other things we have to disassociate and go. This is called yoga, shankha. And to practice that, it's called yoga. So we know this, but let us know what is the root. So Bhagavata now tell us the root of this problem, where from it came. That if we don't know what is the root, then it will be difficult. So it is better to know the root also. In the Bhagavad Gita also we'll find that Bhagavan Sri Krishna, this is also Sri Krishna is telling to Uddhava. We should not forget that. This is the conversation between the Bhagavan Sri Krishna and the Uddhava. That is known as the Uddhava Gita. And there we find all this. And in the Bhagavad Gita also Sri Krishna is telling that this is the way you are always bewildered. And you should know what are the bad things. So in 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, first 3 verses he says, these is the best qualities, godly, divine qualities you should develop. And then in the whole chapter he is explaining what we should not do. So here also in the Bhagavata, that is Bhagavad Gita and this is Bhagavata. This is a basic thing. So this Bhagavata, now it says the root. Is the 11th book, 13th chapter, 28th verse, the Swan explained, Buddhi, the finest part of the mind, gets reflection of the Chaitanya. Now we have to understand this very clearly. Intellect, and the Vedanta will explain mind, and it has 4 parts. What are the 4 parts? The mind, they will say, that is Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahamkara. These are the 4 parts. And of this Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahamkara, this Buddhi, this intellect is the subtlest part. And on that the reflection of the consciousness is coming. Not that not other things, it is also coming. But they cannot receive it properly as the Buddhi receive it. So the Chaitanya is, the consciousness is reflected on the intellect, the Buddhi. And this Buddhi, from the moment it is reflected, it start thinking, oh, because the power of the Chaitanya, big power of the consciousness, then naturally it becomes very happy and becomes proud. Oh, I am, look at all others, they are in dark, I am giving them the light. Suppose the moon, it boastfully says, oh, I am giving you the light. Is it the moon's light? The sun's light only reflecting. But the moon is thinking, I am doing it, I am giving it. The same way the ego comes. Where from the ego comes, the ahamkara comes, it comes from the reflection of the Chaitanya. That is the mistake. And bewildered by these, the jiva, the individual self, forgets his eternal relationship with the Supreme and get entangled with the worldly objects and with an idea to be happy. So I think this is the idea, the reflection of the consciousness on the intellect, buddhi, and immediately that reflection, that light, it gives so much power and knowledge. It forgets where from it is coming. That is called original sin in the Christian tradition. I think it can be explained in this way. The Christian tradition, they say the original sin, and there is a story all the whole world knows. But if we explain from the Vedantic point of view, this is the point where ego came. Where the ego was born? When the light, consciousness reflected on intellect. So from there begins that is the root of all ignorance, all suffering. This is a reflection only. This is not original. Again, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling the story that all fishes were very happy when they were playing with the moon, because the reflection of the moon was there in that pond, and the fishes of that pond, they were playing with the moon, and they were telling, this is my friend, you know it is my friend. So the moon was there. When the daylight came, they saw the moon is not there. Somewhere it was not there at all. And they started crying, where the moon has gone. In our life also the same thing is happening. Again and again it is happening. It is not with us, but we think, oh, this is my father, this is my mother, where my mother has gone, where my father has gone, why they should die, why this is happening, this is my family, my home. Then you leave that family somewhere else and you go somewhere else. It's going on, happening every moment in our life, but every moment we are thinking, oh, we should not leave. So that is the main problem. Association with the wrong thing. Where from this I should not leave, I should have those things come, reflection of the consciousness on the intellect. And that is called the ego. That binds, and that is the original sin, that is original mistake. Therefore the Swan advised, that is on the 29th verse, second line I am quoting, Vidwan nirvidya samsara chintam turjasthita tyajet. Vidwan, the intelligent person, a person who has already developed this faculty, that all these things that I find is all temporary things. So I am not associated with. That's called sannyasi. Nyasa, samyak nyasa, all giving up. No, I don't need all these things. That is called sannyasi. So the whole world respects sannyasi. Why? Because this quality. And majority of the people can't do that. They are associated. So this is the difference. Why they go to the holy man? Maybe that in education, maybe in social status, maybe in many other things, he is nobody in that society. But still the society, best people, they go because only this quality is there. What is that quality? Understanding this world is illusory and capacity to give it up. That's all. So this is the way it happens. Vidwan nirvidya samsara chintam turjasthita tyajet. The intelligent person should give up the identification with the ego and rest on the transcendent, turya. Turya, transcendent. Immanent, transcendent. The transcendent where? Consciousness. They're constantly thinking on that. And this devotion helps us. Because when you are taking the mind out in the consciousness, where you will keep it? So obviously, in the beginning at least, if we have a God, a person who lived that life, holy life, if we are having that God or that holy person as our object of meditation, it helps. So the Hindus, they have given Vedanta where there is no form. At the same time, the Hindus have introduced God with form. Sometimes it gets confused, but this is a very good system, very perfect system, and system for each and everyone. In the beginning itself, it says, the world and its multiplicity and the one absolute consciousness, are they different then? The first question was how to associate. Second, who are you? You are asking to withdraw our mind to go back to you. Who are you? The third, wherefrom did it came? So what is this problem? Wherefrom it came? The reflection of the consciousness on our intellect. Now they are asking, they are not asking, these are one after another, the doubts that Lord is clearing. Are they different? Now this world with its multiplicity and the consciousness, we are going beyond this multiplicity to the one. That is the whole thing. Our journey, spiritual journey, from multiplicity towards the one. So if we go like that, then what happens? So here we find that the multiplicity and the one, how to go? Then the Lord said, they are not different. This is wonderful. The swan, the swan that says it is no, it is not different. So beautifully it answers. He who in the waking state enjoys through all his organs the objects of the ever-changing world. I repeat, he who in the waking state enjoys through all his organs the objects of the world, he who in dream experiences similar to them in the heart, Jagrat Sapna, and he who withdraws them in profound sleep, in the Susupti, are one and the same Atman, the witness. Now this is the wonderful point. That's why from the Neti, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, if you read his biography and his gospel, you get all the answers of this. He says, first we begin with Neti, not this, not this. This world, these objects, it is not mine, it is not mine. Then it goes and goes and goes and ultimately find everything is that. Everything is nothing but the same. And he gives the beautiful, the example, when you are going to the terrace on the roof of the house, you are discarding the steps. No, not this is not, this is not, this is not. You are going on using the steps, and then you reach on the top, on the terrace, on the roof, and you find the roof and those the steps also, staircase, are made of the same thing. Similarly, but in the beginning, if we think that this world is also God, let us enjoy the world, that is wrong. Because these are all God's imaginative power. Maya, it is not true. It is also created by God, but the imaginative power, the imagination of God, is not true. That's why again Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, the magician is only truth, but all the magic that he is showing all around on that stage are not true. He is showing so many things. But if you go for those things, varieties of things, taking out the flower from the hat, or sometimes the many other things from the hat, is all magic only. But magician is the truth. So that is why we should go towards the magician. This is proved, smriti annayat. This is proved from the persistence of the memory in all three stages. The memory is present, smriti annayat. Smriti means the memory, annayat, it is everywhere present. Jagrat, Shapna, Shushupti, in all the three stages it is present there. So the consciousness is present in the waking stage, in the dream stage, and also in the dreamless sleep stage, profound sleep stage. Consciousness is there. And that consciousness, and who is that consciousness? Now lastly, the swan said, Maya etad uktam bo vipra guiham yat samkhyam yogayoho janita ma agatam yagyam yusmat dharma vivakshaya. In the form of a swan, ma agatam, I came. In the form of a swan, janita, you know, to give you, what is that? To explain the dharma to you. Yusmat dharma vivakshaya. What is the dharma? What is the righteousness? What is the religion then? To disassociate the consciousness from the unconscious thing. That is religion. The religion is realization, Swami Vivekananda said in one line definition. Religion is realization. What is the realization? The consciousness that is the actual, original, everlasting, all the time. And whatever we see and find in this world is only the reflection of that consciousness. In reality, it is not true. But as long as we are in this world, as long as we cannot really understand this, then so long we have to go on practicing. Who told it? Then it says, Maya etad uktam bo vipra, O sages, vipra. Vipra means that you have already given up many things and you are a knowledgeable person. And that is called Vipra. From the Vipra, the Brahmana. In the Hindu, they have the caste system. In the caste system, there is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Who is a Brahmana? Just by birth? No, that is wrong. By understanding this knowledge that God is everything and only God remains and nothing else. That is called Vipra. So you have reached to that stage, so that Swan, now addressing the Sanat Kumar and his brothers, that you are the Vipra, you have reached to that. O sages, I have told you what is the inmost secret of the Samkhya and Yoga. What is the Samkhya? That is knowledge. What is the knowledge? One only remains, and whatever the multiplicity that you see, it is not true. That is called Samkhya. Now this is the knowledge, that is the Jnana. Application of that knowledge, practicing of this knowledge called Yoga. So Samkhya and Yoga goes together. Now the Supreme Being is telling, I told you that knowledge and also the Yoga, the action. I came here in the form of a swan to enlighten you on religion. Now the last line he says, they asked him, Ko Bhavan, who are you? To the swan they asked. Now in the last he is giving the reply, and this is the 38th verse. He says, know me to be Vishnu. I am that Vishnu. The Vishnu that we are all the time praying that to the Vishnu before we begin, we always say that that is the Vishnu. The Vishnu Shankha Chakra Gada Padmadhari Vishnu. The Shankha, it gives the call. Chakra, it cuts the bondages. Gada, he breaks all the things that is binding us. And Padma, he is the devotion, he is giving us the love. That is the Vishnu. And this water is Vishnu, the air is Vishnu, the sky is Vishnu, the sun is Vishnu. Everything is Vishnu. Vishnu Mayam Jagat. There's nothing but the Vishnu. And the Sri Krishna, that is also the power of that Vishnu. That's the avatar. Sri Ramachandra, avatar of the same Vishnu. Sri Ramakrishna in the recent time, avatar of the Vishnu. And you know that Sri Ramakrishna, before his birth, his father saw that in the dream, the Vishnu is praying to him. He wants to come as a son. So this avatar is nothing but that Vishnu, Vishnu Mayam Jagat. So we were wondering, who is this swan? Now the answer is, this is the Vishnu. Any question?
Well, Raja Bhattacharya is asking, is it possible to separate ego from I without trance?
Without trance. The separating the ego means going to the trance. Transcendental. Not trance doesn't mean, there's another conception of trance. There's sometimes the people, they'll smoke and they go to trance. No, that is not the. Transcendental means when this world, worldly things that we see, and world is having what? Rupa, Rasa, Shabda, Sparsha and Gandha. These are the 5 things. When you withdraw the mind, where the mind goes? To the consciousness. And the moment you go back to the consciousness, you are separated from the ego. And that is called sadhana, that is called tapasya, that is called austerity, spiritual austerity. Separating the ego. Who is I? This body constantly changing. How can you say I? Whether you were the small I when you were a baby lying on your mother's lap, and now you're the grown-up man, now you're elderly person, all this continuously I is there. But the body is changing. How can I say the body is I? So naturally it's the same way the mind. The thoughts are also changing. In the thought process, when we were children, we used to think in different way. Now when you grew up, our thoughts became different. When anything is changing, that cannot be the eternal. But I was thinking in that form, I was thinking is this way, now I am thinking in that way, so I is eternal. That I is not the I of the ego. That's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, Kacha ami, paka ami. That's an unripe ego says, I, this body, I, this mind, I, this associated with this. And ripe ego will say, I, the God, I, the Supreme, and I don't belong to this world. That is the play.
Well, one more person, Suresh is asking, how do we know that we are conscious when in deep sleep?
And Suresh, that's a beautiful, very good question. So in deep sleep, I am conscious that moment we don't understand. But the moment we come back to wakeful state, then we say, I say, oh, I was in a dreamless sleep. In my sleep, I didn't even dream. So if the body was not there, if the mind was not there, what was there? That came back and reported, that is consciousness. That is called the susupti condition. And beyond that, when you go, beyond means when you go knowingly. What is the meditation? I forget my body, I forget my mind. So slowly withdrawing the consciousness into that, and I become the conscious. And that is go beyond susupti. It's called turiya. Turiya, an excellent, transcendent, that is called turiya. So thank you, friends. Thank you for the good questions that you have asked. Let us chant this mantra and complete. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stunnanti Divyai Stabai Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadai गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थित तद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदु सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरिः ॐ तत्सत्।